Why, hello, you people from Earth and outer space. It is I, Alexander from the universe. In this episode of Let's Rust, we're going to go over another one of Rust's primitives, the Boolean. A Boolean is a type of primitive that can take on either true or false. This is going to come in real handy as soon as we get into some flow control and actually comparing things to one another to get more interesting outcomes of our program. Let's define a Boolean, shall we? So once again, a Boolean can either have a value of true or false. Let x equal true, or perhaps even something more interesting like me is me. Let me is me equals true. So this me is me variable right here now holds the concept of me being me, which is true. Now this could on the other hand be false. But we're going to set it to true because me is pretty true. And now we can print this out using a regular good old print. Me is me. Print that out. Open your CMD. Do a cargo run. It's going to say true. So the value of me is true. And the type of this is bool. In Rust, Booleans are called bool. If we're to run this again, nothing's going to happen because everything's going to be the same. But as of now, you might be thinking, what on earth are they actually used for? Well, that's going to be uncovered in a future episode. I apologize, you peoples. But there is one more thing about those amazing wonders from the gods, or something like that. Rather than putting true here, we can put in a condition. Now, what is that, you might be asking yourselves? And a condition is something like, is 1 equal to 1, for example? And we can check this equality using first the 1. We're going to check the value of 1 and see if it's equal to. Now we use two equal signs here, check for equality or something. So is 1 equal to 1? Now this right here is going to return either true or false. If it's true, this me is going to be set to true. If this is false, meaning that 1 is not equal to 1, this Boolean is going to be false. Let's print this out and see what happens. Oh, it's true? Wow. 1 equals 1 is true. That's really strange. How about like 2 equals 1? Is that going to be true? Oh no, that's false. Oh, okay. Now we can do even more advanced stuff using this. For example, if we put an exclamation mark preceding an equal sign, like so, save it and run it, we're now checking to see this return true. We're now checking to see if 2 is not equal to 1. But what if we wanted to check whether 2 is, say, greater than 1? Then we type in a greater than sign, which looks like that, if you don't remember from mathematics. That's how a greater than sign looks. We run it again. 2 is in fact greater than 1. Is 2 less than 1? 2 is not less than 1. Oh. But what if we had 1 is less than 1? We're going to be like, no, 1 is definitely not less than 1, right? But what if we wanted to also take the 1? What if it's like, what if we're checking to see if 1 is less than or equal to 1? We'll put in a less than sign and then an equal sign. You run this, it's going to say true, because 1 is in fact less than or equal to 1. Or perhaps we even wanted to check if it's greater than or equal to 1. We can do that using the greater than or equal to. And it's true. 1 is in fact greater than or equal to 1. It's pretty much equal to, but it is greater than or equal to. That is very true. But another cool thing about this is that we could have this Boolean down here, me is me, and we could make another variable binding up here, say x is equal to 4, and then we could check if x is greater than or equal to 1. We run it, it's going to say true, because 4, the x variable, which is equal to 4, is in fact greater than or equal to 1. Now we could even have two variables up here, x and y, x and x, x and y, which are 3 and 5, and then we do, is x greater than y? No, X is not greater than Y, because X is 3 and Y is 5. And 3 is in fact not greater than 5. So depending on this condition here, we get either true or false by typing this type of expression in. So this X is greater than or equal to Y is converted either into true or false depending on the condition. If it values to true, this is gonna turn to true, so this is gonna look exactly like this. The Rust compiler is gonna handle that very nicely for us. Or perhaps it's false, which would be really sad, because nobody likes when me's not me, or you's not you, whatever. Now there is one more thing about this. What if we wanted to check for multiple conditions at the same time? For example, say this. We want this variable, me is me, to be true if x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 5, which they are, by the way. Then we can type in x, then we can type in x equals 3. This is going to be true. We run this to check. Yep. And then we want to check for another condition. So we type in two and signs. So we're saying x is equal to 3 and something else. Y is equal to 5. We're checking for two conditions, and if both those conditions are true, this is going to value to true. It is. It's true. So if we were to change this to like 4, then obviously that's going to be false because that ain't part of the Fibonacci sequence. And then there's also the highly logical or two vertical bars in a row. So now we're checking to say if is x 3, that's true. Alright, or y is equal to 4, which is not, but since this is true, then it's going to be true nonetheless. Because either if this is true or this is true, it doesn't matter which one is true. It only matters if one is true. Now if both were true, that would work very well as well. So these both actually, as a matter of fact, have to be false in order for us to get this to false. Now Booleans might not seem very powerful to you, but I promise you, Booleans are amazing. Without Booleans, there are so many things you wouldn't be able to do, and you're going to notice that in the coming episodes. Because with this logic, we can create entire trees of amazing things and code blocks everywhere, with things happening depending on values. So stay tuned. Why, goodbye, you people from Earth and outer space. Feel free to leave a comment saying something either hilarious or perhaps even a like. And don't forget to learn all this by heart. Alex out.